Alright, I know it's been a long time coming, but I have gotten some work done to it, despite the fact that everything looks like it's in the same place, because everything you do see is in the same place that it was, I don't know how many months ago. I got busy with school this semester, and I just didn't have time to get down here and work on this project. I actually did get work done though. I think it was back around spring breaks, back around March. I did a lot of late night work, and I was able to actually get this over here. Got the PTO taken apart. This is just a bare casting. All the pieces are out of it. I do got some work to do to this yet. I got to pull this off right here, because one of the problems with this was it was leaking. There's a seal in here. It's actually leaking out of this seal. So I got to pull this off. I got the bolt loose, but it's just so tight on that shaft. I've been fighting with it. Once I pull that off, the little rocker on the inside here, it'll just slide out the inside. I'll put a new seal on it, and then I have everything to throw this baby back together. I didn't get a new bushing for this. I could have got a new bushing, but I mean it's really not that bad. And it's only a PTO lever, so I'm really not worried about it being loose. That's not one of my concerns. I don't have pictures of it on this video, but I actually have pictures up on Photo Bucket. You can find me on Photo Bucket at Reese Holler, just like my YouTube name. I upload all my pictures on there. So if you don't want to look at video updates, you can actually see progress. Normally I take pictures step by step, and I have a lot of pictures of this PTO rebuild, the nasty stuff that was on the inside, underneath this cover here, how rusty it was. And I have just a lot of general pictures of taking this thing apart that is more detailed than what you see in videos. So feel free to check that out. This transmission shaft, I had to heat it. Actually, I had to heat it pretty good to get this roller bearing off the end here. I'm working on trying to find a different bearing for that, so I don't have to go through IH and pay an arm and a leg for a bearing. So I'm trying to find a bearing that'll fit this. I still didn't get these bushings yet. And these bushings go on this shaft for the reverse idler for the reverse gear. I mean, these are fairly small bushing. There's not much to them. And I thought, you know what, come over here for like 30 bucks or something like that. I could get them through IH. Yeah, not going to happen. $75 a piece through IH, and those are just for these two. So I'm looking at $150 just for those two bushings. I still have to get that one yet. So I'd be paying over $200 at least for bushings. So I'm going to try and find them elsewhere. I'm just going to measure with my calipers and make them work, and then I can just buff them to whatever size I need to make them work. And actually, this shaft right here, I think I showed this nut before. This was the nut at the end of the countershaft. It's pretty butchered up. So you can see it better over here. Somebody had taken the chisel to it and really beat the snot out of the thing. You can't see it in here, but the threads are all flat. They're not even pointy anymore, and the threads are just overall really, really bad. I can't get a good shot on it, but big thank you to Dean down at work. He took and made me actually a set of 4 nuts. There's a big one here that isn't cut in half. I got another spare one, and then there's one actually on the shaft. He actually threaded these and made them fit to this shaft, so I can actually turn this. And I took a thread file to the threads on here, cleaned them up as best as I could. So all these threads are cleaned up now. So I got a new nut on there. I could have bought one of these nuts. If I would have bought one, it would have been, I think, $45 a piece. It's the cheapest I could find one of these nuts. It's just an oddball nut because I think it's a 16 thread. I think it's either inch and 7/8 or inch and 7/8 or 2 inch 16 thread. So it's a really oddball nut, and I had a hard time even finding that one for 40 some odd dollars. And then this part of the PTO here, there's a little needle bearing on the inside there. I heated that and got that baby out of there. But I have all the bearings and seals to put this thing back together. I'm just waiting right now on a sheet of 64th inch gasket paper. I got my 32nd inch gasket paper right here. I think it's like 38 inches wide, and I think I got 6 feet of it, so I can make my gasket for the transmission cover. And then any other thick gaskets I need, like for my axles here, I'm going to trace them, cut them. I think there's a gasket goes on there. I'll make that too. Then just any other gaskets I need. But a big thank you to Sealing Service Specialist, sealing specialists out of Glenshaw, PA. They supplied me with all my seals. And then O-rings as well for like the hydraulic system and stuff like that. I got all my O-rings and seals from them. I just sent them parts I had, and they just sent me all the matching part numbers for everything. So I have all the seals and everything I need thanks to them, and all my gasket papers from them as well. That roll of gasket paper, I couldn't find anybody that had 36 inches wide by just about 6 feet long, and I called these guys and said, yep, we can do that for you, and I got this nice roll of gasket paper. So that was nice. I'm trying to think where else I was going to go with this. Over here I got, the only thing I don't have on the shelf over here is my axle bearings. I got them down at work right now. That's where I'm working on my axles. But these are all the bearings, and yeah, all the bearings I'm going to need to put this thing back together. What I do is when I pick them up from the bearing shop before I even leave, I cross-reference the numbers. I give them the list, I give them the number, so all my bearing boxes here I have marked with the IH number. So the way I do it, I take a bearing off, and I'll find this bearing, I'll match it up, I'll put it on, I'll do one bearing at a time. Like these over here, I'll drive these two bearings off, and then pick the new two, put the new two bearings on, then move on the next one. Pull that one off, move on the next one. I like to keep the bearings on until it's time to replace them. That way I know what bearings I have, what bearings I've done, and then if I have any bearings left over, where they need to go. So it's just an easier way for me to keep track of what I worked on and what I didn't. Other than that, I think that's about all I got for now. I still have to get the starter sent out, have it rebuilt. I did pick up all the bearings for the belt pulley. So the belt pulley is going to get redone here, but that's probably going to be one of the last things, just one of the last things to go on. So that's really not a concern of mine right now. I just really want to get this PTO done, get it back together, get this rear end thrown back together so I can get some wheels on this thing, be able to move it. But yep, I think that's about all for now. I don't think I've bought anything for any parts wise for this, other than the bearings and the seals I got for it. So that's where I stand with this right now. I'm hoping next week is my very last week of classes. Actually, I have one class all week, thank goodness, and then it's finals week. So I'm hoping I can get some work going on this baby and start throwing her back together since I have all the parts. So look for an update probably about 2 weeks from now, if I can get back into doing all this stuff. So alright, just wanted to give everybody a quick update. Hopefully I can get down, take a video of the H's back together and running decent. So I'm hoping I can get down there this weekend and do a video of that if the weather's permitting. So alrighty, thanks for watching. As always, if you have any questions, just feel free to give me a holler. Thanks.